Hello and welcome everybody. It's noon here in the Iranian capital, Tehran. You're watching Press TV's World News. Our top story: people in war-ravaged Syria are casting their ballots to choose representatives for the next parliament. The voting takes place in areas under the government's control. It began at 400 GMT and will last for 12 hours. More than 7,000 polling stations have been set up for voters to cast their ballots. 250 parliamentary seats are up for grabs, with more than 3,500 candidates competing. Parliamentary elections are held in Syria every 4 years. The last vote was held in May 2012, 4 months after constitutional reforms were approved by President Bashar al-Assad. Syria has been gripped by an armed conflict for the past 5 years, which has put government forces against foreign-backed militant and terrorist groups. Syrian activist Mimi Al-Lahmas told Press TV that the elections in her country indicate that the government is ready to implement reforms, something that makes insurgency unnecessary.
Well, first of all, these elections have been opened up as part of the reforms that the President Assad brought forward to, open up Syria to democracy, basically. And I think it's twofold. First of all, it shows that the readiness of the government to do reforms makes the insurgency unnecessary and reveals the hypocrisy of the West. The war is ongoing, and it's just a show of strength that we can hold an election in spite of the insurgency that Saudi Arabia and Turkey and the United States are still funding, and in spite of terrorism that's in the country. France, when it had its terrorist bombings, nobody criticizes them if they still go on and have an election. And the turnout that's happened don't know how much it is this time around, but the last parliamentary elections, there was a very big turnout of the majority of the voters. And that percentage of the Syrian voters that came to vote in the parliamentary elections is much higher than the number of US citizens that came to vote in the US elections. So it just goes to show you that the world standards on democracy is skewed, biased towards what they think is right.